Welcome everyone. Nancy Halasic here to practice yoga with you once again. So welcome. We're here at the Senior Center in our exercise room. We have some beautiful new cubbies and shelves off to the side. You won't be able to see those right now, but they're really quite nice. So we'll have lots of places for our boots and our coats when we finally come back here to practice together again. So right now we're practicing remotely and safely. And again, I hope to see you soon. So let's begin just by talking a little bit about kind of the stressful times that we're in right now. Very uncertain, challenging times for sure. We know that our yoga practice can really help us. There's so many different things that can help us to calm down and to stay balanced and centered. Many of the yoga techniques help us with this. Our deep breathing, the different slow movements, connecting breath with movement, hand over heart, we've talked about that before. The left side of the body representing feminine energy, we place that on the heart center. The right side of the body, masculine energy, and we press that on top. Just a little bit of gentle pressure on the heart center. We know we have that vagus nerve, it's also called the soul nerve, that runs from the brainstem all the way down to the diaphragm. So just gentle pressure on there and deep breathing can help calm the body and quiet the mind. We want to switch from the sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight, or freeze mode, into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. So we can do that with these simple movements. Again, we can do it with our deep breathing. We can do it with the buzzing bee breath, which we've practiced before. I'll just do a little demonstration of it here, a short one. What I'd like you to do is keep the mouth closed. Take the tip of the tongue right behind your upper front teeth. And then take a nasal in breath. You're going to keep the mouth closed though. Take a nice nasal in breath. And then on your exhalation, do that nice humming sound, and you can do several rounds of that. Any kind of a humming or buzzing sound is good. Also, just singing a soft song, perhaps a song like a lullaby or a hymn. That can calm the body as well, calm the body and mind. So think of these simple things that you can do. Getting out in nature is wonderful. Nature is a great healer. So if you can, just get out for a walk, or perhaps you like to swim, go to some place that you know is safe, where people are safe distancing. Even bringing a chair out into a park and just sitting for a while and enjoying nature. Very, very healing. We have many beautiful parks in our area. We have Jadana, we have Lone Lake Park, we have Nuremberg Gardens out on Lake Minnetonka. So if you go during the week, many times there's not many people there at all. Take your mask with, self-distance, bring a chair and just sit out in nature for a bit. So all good things that we can do to calm the body and quiet the mind. Remember that yoga is not just about the postures, it's about being able to quiet the body, the mind, and the spirit as well. So let's begin our chair class here by coming in front of the chair, taking the arms out and then the arms in front. We're going to use this movement to help strengthen our legs. Nice deep inhalation here, and then on the exhalation, slowly bring the buttocks down to the chair seat. How slow can you go? Very good. And try to practice that at home anytime you get are sitting down at the table. Try to use that chair posture. The more you do, the more you're going to nicely strengthen the legs. But now we're going to go into that period of relaxation called Shavasana. We use this first period of relaxation to help center the body and quiet the mind. So we close the eyes and we take that journey inward to that place of peacefulness and calm within. We just follow our nice deep breathing. Again, we try to use the full capacity of the lungs, remembering the lungs are up by the collarbones all the way down to the diaphragm. So we try to do what we call diaphragmatic breathing. When you're breathing fully, the diaphragm will press down a little bit and then the stomach will come out a bit. And again, this deep breathing, so very calming to the nervous system. Try to release any tension you might be holding in the body. Stress makes us hold tightness or tension in the body, and we want to release that tension. Lots of times we hold stress in the jaw, the neck, and the shoulders. So just roll your shoulders back and down. Focus on your breathing and release. We want to let go of the past and have no concerns for the future. It will wait for us. We want to bring ourselves present or into the now. And then we'll stay present as we practice, just moving from moment to moment. Let's stay in this quiet, peaceful place now for just about a minute as we prepare for our practice today. And now let's gently bring our awareness back to the room, to this place and time. You can open the eyes now, but keep the focus inward, keep the gaze soft. Again, we want to just focus on what we're doing and what we're feeling. We remember that we bring a different body, a slightly different body and mindset to our practice every time we practice. So just be aware of that and do as much or as little as you feel comfortable doing today. Always challenging ourselves a bit, but also respecting any limitations that we might have. We start as we usually do with our gentle shoulder shrugs. I'm coming forward on the chair just a bit. I extend my fingertips towards the floor. Then let's draw the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze those shoulder blades back behind us and come down and around. Again, up, back, down and around. And one more in this direction. Then back at center, we'll draw the shoulders up and come forward, down and around. Up, forward, down and around, feeling more of a stretch in the upper back here. And one more in this direction. And then we'll go in reverse again. Up, back, down and around. Trying to nicely set the posture. This is a good movement to counter kyphosis, or that rounding forward of the shoulders and upper back that we sometimes get as we age. And even a lot of younger people are developing that roundedness in what they call a text neck now from looking at their devices all the time. So we want to really relax the neck and the shoulders and work any tension out that might have built in the neck. We're going to extend the fingertips down towards the floor, turn our palms forward, doing our sun breaths. Again, connecting breath with movement. Inhaling up, take the arms up as far as you comfortably can. On the exhalation, turn your palms outward and slowly bring those arms back down. Again, inhaling up. Imagine you're moving through some resistance. Exhale down. Calming, fluid movements. Inhale up. Exhale down. We'll do 3 more. Inhaling up. This time just wiggle the fingers and the thumbs, starting to warm them up. Palms forward, inhale up. Add wrist rotations. Sweep those arms overhead again. This time, bring the hands together in prayer position, press them firmly together, and then bring them back in front of the heart center. Now we'll inhale up and exhale out and around. This can be a little more rounded movement if you'd like. Inhaling up, exhaling out and around. And let's do one more here. And we're back at the heart center. Now we'll just release the hands to the lap. We're going to work the neck. So the shoulders are down, the neck is long. Now we tuck the chin toward the chest. And do keep just a little bit of space between your chin and your chest. And you should feel a nice stretch between your shoulder blades and also the back of your neck. And then keep the chin tucked, but rotate it off toward the left shoulder. Hold over here, keep breathing. And then keep the chin tucked, rotate it back to center. And now rotate it over toward the right shoulder, keeping the chin tucked, breathing. And then draw the chin back to center. Now we're going to start looking up and down. On the inhalation, scoop your chin forward and up, taking the gaze up slightly. On the exhalation, bring the chin back down. Again, inhale, scoop forward and up. Exhale, back down. And one more, scoop forward and up. Exhale, back down. And then draw the chin up so it's parallel to the floor. We'll look side to side next, and we'll go to the right side first. So let's inhale and just take the gaze off to the right. Hold here, keep breathing. Over time, we'd like to see if we can get the gaze a little bit farther back behind that shoulder, but don't force anything. Just know that over time, you'll be able to turn back a little bit more. And then come back to center. Now we'll inhale and turn to the left. We'll hold here, keep breathing. And then come back to center. You might hear a little crackling or popping in the neck if you haven't been doing these movements for a while. That's pretty normal, so you don't need to be alarmed by that. If you feel any pain, though, back out of the posture, and you should probably see a doctor if you are experiencing any pain. We're going to take the ears towards the shoulders now, keeping the neck long and the shoulders down. We inhale up and over, the right ear moving toward the right shoulder. Again, keep the shoulder down. We want a good stretch on the left side of the neck, all the way from the ear down into the shoulder, both getting into the front and the back of the shoulder a little bit. We can always add the weight of the right hand above the left ear. You don't want to really pull or torque on the head. Just a little extra weight can help increase that stretch. And then we'll lift back to center. Inhale up and over now, left ear moving toward the left shoulder. Hold over here, keep breathing. Again, your choice. You can add the weight of the head if you'd like or not. And then bring the head back to center. Now we'll work the neck isometrically. We take the hands, placing the fingers at the very base of the head, and press the fingers into your head, press your head back into your fingers. So again, in these classes, we're trying to work every part of the body. Then we're going to release and take the heels of the hands now to the eyebrow area and press in and back. Release the left hand, take the heel of the right hand above your right ear, press in and back. Release, take the heel of the left hand above your left ear and press in and press back. And then we can release. We're going to come up to standing and do some energizing work. Remember, you can stay seated if you need to or if you choose to, and just try to mimic the movements from the chair seat as much as you can. So I'm going to come up. I'll move the chair out of the way for just a bit. If you want to, you can go behind the chair in case you're feeling a little wobbly today. That chair can be a nice prop to help you stay balanced. We start by just marching in place, trying to get the big muscles of those legs moving and warming the body up a bit. And then we come back to center. We do ragdoll, which is shaking and twisting and tapping a little bit. If you don't have any shoulder issues, you can take the arms overhead. You can do the backstroke. You can do the crawl. You can cross over the midline of the body, whatever feels good to you. And then just a little more tapping, twisting, and then we'll come back to center. Next, we do the cross-country ski movement, one arm in front, one behind. Just softly bend the knees and really nicely swing those arms. Stretching the arms and hands, but also the sides of the body here. You can cross over the midline. Come back to center. You can imagine you actually have those poles in your hands. You'll get a slightly different movement with that. And then come back to standing. Then we're just going to step touch lightly side to side, working the hips in a different fashion. And then we'll come back to center. We'll go into our body circles, a soft bend in the legs, extending the fingertips down towards the floor and then sweeping both arms off to the side, overhead, and around. See if you can get the hips into the movement as well. And then we'll go in the opposite direction. And then come up to standing. Then we'll do climbing to heaven. We imagine there's a ladder in front of us, and we're going to reach up and pull ourselves up the rungs of that ladder. Climbing to heaven. Feel the good stretch in the side body here. Then we're going to imagine there's a fruit tree in front of us. We're going to reach through the branches, grasp that fruit, and pull it back. Some's fallen to the ground. We'll get that as well. These movements can just help us function better in our day-to-day lives. We come back up, pick fruit again, and then go up that ladder. And we'll come back to center. Next, we'll do a movement or a technique called body tapping. And this is good for the sebaceous glands right under the skin, also good for a lot of the lymph nodes and lymph glands in the body. Left arm is extended out, the palm of the hand is down. We're going to tap down the top of the arm and then up the inside. And you can do this 3 or 4 times on each side. Longer if you want to when you're practicing at home. Going off to the other side. Taking the heels of the hands and gently tapping around the head, waking up the brain a bit, getting rid of some brain fog. Fingertips to the crown of the head. Fingertips to your forehead now, just go up and down a few times. Move around the eyes. Then tip your chin up and go up and down your cheeks. Across the upper lip or above the upper lip. Across the chin, and then go down your throat. And then you can take fists to the upper chest, down the sides of the body, and across the midriff. Then open your palms wide and go down the outside of the legs and come up the inside. And then take fists and tap the tailbone area. If you've been seated lots at home, whenever you get up, see if you can tap this area, moving through the low back area until you feel your lower ribs. Very good. And then we'll come back to center. Standing tall in our mountain pose of Tadasana, the toes and the knees track ahead. We have nice, strong legs. Just a slight tuck to the tailbone. You want to keep the curve in the low back. So just think of the tailbone rooting a little bit down towards the floor. We want to pull the navel in toward the spine so we have a nice, tight abdomen and pelvic area. And then we're going to grow the spine long up out of the hips, reaching through the sternum, reaching through the crown of the head. We're going to release the shoulders back and down. And this is Tadasana, this is mountain. Grounded to the earth, extending upward towards the sky. We'll move into a nice gentle twist now. On an inhalation, we twist to the right, taking the right shoulder and the gaze back. On your exhalation, bring yourself back to center. Inhale as you turn to your left. Exhale back. Again, off to your right. Come back to center. Off to your left. Come back to center. And then we'll return to the chair and we'll do some more work on the chair. Again, every chance we get, we'll use the chair posture. So toes and knees are tracking ahead, arms out and then in front. Nice deep inhalation here. And then as you exhale, slowly bring yourself down to the chair seat. Beautiful. And then we're going to work on toning the upper body. We extend the fingertips down towards the floor and press the palms back into some imaginary resistance behind you. Again, a good posture to help prevent the rounding of the shoulders. Draw your fingertips down and out in front of you, creating space in the arms, your wrists, your hands. Again, really extend through your fingertips. And then draw those fingertips down towards the floor. We get a nice stretch through the wrists here. And then bring your palms parallel, fingertips up. Getting those fingertips back so you can open up the carpal tunnel area. Palms parallel, fingertips down, palms parallel, and fingertips up one more time. Palms parallel to the floor, work your hands side to side a bit. And then come back to center, cup your hands, spread your fingers, and do a twisting movement. And then imagine you're picking up a beautiful scarf that's in front of you with your thumb tips and your fingertips. And then you can release down, do another shoulder shrug or two if you choose to. And then we're going to work the arms. We're going to float them out. We want them nice and strong here. Remember to do as many or as few as you choose. The fingers are pointed as we begin. We're going to come forward. And then we'll go in reverse. And then we'll come back, we'll make fists and come forward, see if you can feel a difference here. And then we'll go in reverse again. Come back to center, press out through the heels of the hands and come forward. And go in reverse. Very good. Come back to center, turn your palms up, flutter, just a small movement here. And then turn your palms forward and flutter. Palms down, flutter. And then if you can, turn your palms behind you and flutter back and forth just a little bit. Release down, another shoulder shrug or two. And then bring the hands up and just open and close. We want to see how pink or how rosy we can get the hands, getting circulation to the tips of our fingers and thumbs. Then scissors the fingers a little bit. And you can rotate your thumbs as well. And then we're going to interlace the fingers and bring the heels of the hands together, do the work for our wrists, just gentle wrist circles. And then if you'd like, you can do the larger infinity sign or figure 8 figure. Come back to center, recross, take the other thumb and index finger on top, and then work those wrists out again. Come back to center, keep the fingers interlaced and turn the palms down and tug. Again, more space in the body, less wear and tear. We'll recross. And then we'll bring the palms together in prayer position. You're going to keep the press of the heels of the hands very strong. Hands are in front of the heart center. We inhale up. If we can, we bring the forearms together. We open the palms like a flower opening to the sun. Exhaling, the palms come back together and down. Let's do 2 more. Follow your own breathing. And then you can release. Today we'll do something called Chinese acupressure points. We have a lot of acupressure points in the hands. So what we do is we start with the palms up. We tap the outside edges of the hands together. And you can do this for longer periods if you choose. Here we're just doing it for a fairly short period of time. Then the heels of the hands. Now if you have arthritis in your wrists and your hands, be very gentle here. Then we'll go between the thumb knuckle and your wrist. Tap, tap. Extend the left hand out, tap all around it with your right. You can do your wrist, your palm, and the fingers. Take the left hand into the right and do the same thing. And then you can tap the backs of the hands. And don't do this too vigorously or you might have black and blue marks all over tomorrow. So gentle tapping. And then we flip. And then we're going to tap the area between the thumb and index finger and recross. And then we'll do the webs between the fingers. As we age, we can lose sensitivity in the fingers, so these movements are really good. Recross again, and then tap the tips of the fingers together. And then we're going to heat the hands up. This is sending energy. You can direct this energy towards yourself or outward. If you know of someone who is ill or someone who's grieving or someone who could just use a little extra energy today, you can send this energy to them. So we close the eyes. We heat those hands up. Get them nice and hot. And then when they are hot, just release that energy wherever you choose. Positive healing energy moving wherever you choose. And then we release. We'll come up to standing. Again, you can be behind the chair if you'd like. And we're going to just do a series to work the spine. We usually do this in almost every class. So we start with what's called prana arch, and that's just standing in mountain. Again, a nice strong base. Just taking the arms out to the side and pressing the heart center just slightly forward. And the gaze would be just about where the horizon would be or slightly above it here. And then we're going to sweep those arms overhead if we can. Remember, with any shoulder issues, just take those arms up as far as you comfortably and safely can. Now we're going to press the hips forward, turning the gaze and the heart center upward. And this is called hastasana, or hands to the heavens. Again, strong legs, spine nicely elongated here. And then we'll come upright, we'll interlace the fingers, releasing the index fingers and go into crescent moon, swaying a bit side to side. Try to stay in one plane here, not leaning forward or back. And then on an exhalation, we'll take the head and the hands off to the left side. Your right hip can bump out just a little bit. So just making a gentle curve to the right side of the body. A beautiful stretch. So good for the spine, but you're also stretching the intercostal muscles between your ribs. The more flexible they are, the better the heart and lungs can do their work. We'll come back to center. Again, growing the spine nice and long. This time we take the head and the hands off to the right and bump the left hip out. Again, a nice gentle stretch to the left side of the body. And then we'll come upright. Parting the hands, we can take them in front of us for chair posture. Again, with shoulder issues, you can take your hands to your shoulders, you can stack your forearms, or perhaps you could even take your hands down to your thighs here. I'm going to keep my arms out in front of me. I'm taking a nice deep inhalation here. On the exhalation, you softly bend the knees, take the buttocks back and down, and sit on the chair that's not there. Again, keep your toes and your knees tracking forward. We'll release the hands now to the thighs and straighten the legs and come into what we call Hanuman or monkey pose. It's also considered a half forward fold. And here you'd like to press your sit bones way back so you get a nice stretch to the low back area. Again, if you've been seated for a long time, this is a really good stretch. You could also do it to a counter, to a dresser, a little bit like down dog as well. Now we stay in this posture if we have any issues with untreated high blood pressure, if we have issues with glaucoma, macular degeneration, if we're dizzy or congested. Otherwise, we can fold into a forward fold, just releasing the head down, letting the hands come down the legs a bit. Here you could use a yoga block in front of you or a yoga block on either side of the feet. We want to shift the weight slightly forward onto the balls of the feet. And just hang here. A good stretch for the back side of the body, what we call the west side of the body. Now to come out of this, we're going to take our hands to our shins and straighten out the torso again. Then take the hands to your thighs and lifting through your heart center, bring yourself up and then move into a sun breath. Beautiful. And then we'll return to the chair and we'll use chair posture again. So arms out and in front. Nice deep inhalation here. On the exhalation, come down to the chair seat. And release. And just feel the effects of what you've done so far. Building that inner awareness. Floating the arms out. And bending. We're going to do a seated forward bend, remembering the bend comes from the hip crease, not from your waist. So we're going to take a nice inhalation here. On the exhalation, come forward and down. And breathe. So we're strengthening the upper and middle back with the arms in this position. Okay to move with the breath a little bit on the inhalation, pulse up. On the exhalation, pulse down. That just gets you a little more in tune with your breathing. And then let's come back up. Let's release the hands back to the lap and just rest for a moment. Then we're going to go into the locust pose. So we extend the fingertips down towards the floor, turning the palms forward. We inhale as we elongate the spine, and then on the exhalation, we're going to come forward and down. Breathing into the middle and low back now. Remember, the low back and the hamstring muscles of the backs of the thighs play into one another. So this is a nice good stretch for both of them here. And then we'll float back up and just allow the hands to rest on the lap for a moment. And then we're going to move into what we call the goddess pose. It's a way of opening up through the hip area. We spread the legs out at a diagonal here. If you're short like me, the heels might be in alignment with the legs of the chair seat. If you're taller, your legs can be out a bit farther. We want to keep the press of the feet into the floor contracting the muscles of the legs just a bit. You can rock side to side and feel your sit bones and back and feel your tailbone area. And then we're going to just float the arms out and bend, just like we did in Cobra. This is called Goddess. Again, grounded to the earth, fingertips, crown of the head extending upward towards the heavens. We're going to skip doing weights today. We're running out of time here, but we're going to do a twist, and it's a two-part twist. You can take the legs in just a little bit here. We're going to twist to the left, and then we're going to reach down and see if we can touch those left toes. We come back up, still facing left, and then we move back to center. We'll twist to the right, reach down, come back up, and back to center. Again to the left, reach down, come back up, and back to center. To the right, reach down, come back up, and back to center. And then gently draw those legs back in, and we'll work the lower body. Extending the right foot and the right leg out in front of us, press out through that heel. You can feel how nice and strong the muscles of the legs are, and that helps to support your knee. We'll bring the right foot down and take the left foot out and up. And come back down. Right foot comes up, we're going to point and flex and do some circular patterns here. Bringing that foot down, take the left one up and point and flex. And do some circular patterns as well. And then bring that foot down. And then we'll take both feet up. You can scoot back on the chair just a bit. Soften the tops of the feet and then turn the instep upward and then down towards the floor, and just go back and forth a few times. And then we're going to come forward a bit on the chair and we'll do wind relieving posture. We want to draw the right leg up and in towards the torso, getting some compression on the ascending colon on the side of the body. If you're new to yoga or if you have some limitations, just bring that leg up a bit as best you can. You can hold the back of the thigh with knee issues. Otherwise, you can take hold of the shin and try to bring that leg into the torso as close as you can, and left leg tracks ahead. And then we're just going to gently turn that leg out to the side. Coming back and releasing. And now taking the left leg up and in. Turning it out to the side. And coming back to center. We also have the option of doing a little bit of kicking out and working the lower legs. Kicking out. Few circles with the lower legs. And now we're going to do what we call the gate posture. We've done this numerous times before. So what we're going to do is scoot on over to the right side of the chair. Your left leg will track ahead, and you're going to turn your right leg out as far as you safely can. Again, if you're new to this or if you have some limitations, the foot can be at a diagonal here. So this is a nice side stretch with the legs in a slightly different position. We want to square the hips and the shoulders forward here. Rest the right hand or forearm on the right thigh. Float the left arm out, turn that palm up. Inhale as you sweep that arm overhead, and then on the exhalation, tip off to your right. Now perhaps you can get your forearm down on that right thigh. Reach out through those left fingertips, getting another good stretch from your hip through those fingertips. Keep breathing. How good it feels to stretch. We'll come back to center, turn the palm outward, and release. And then we'll draw the right leg in and scoot on over to the left side of the chair. So make sure you're stable on the chair with the right leg tracking ahead, left leg turning out. Squaring ourselves forward, left hand resting on the left thigh. Right arm floats out, we turn the palm up. We're going to inhale and sweep that arm and hand overhead, and then on the exhalation, tip off to your left. And then reach with those fingertips, come back to center, turn the palm outward, and release. And then draw the left leg back in. And now we're going to do 3 chair-supported sun salutations. Really important to keep a tight abdomen, pull the navel in toward the spine here. That helps support the back when we're forward folding here. Arms out to the side, inhaling up to salute the sun. On the exhalation, come forward and down to honor the earth. Take your palms to the sides of the legs, lifting through the heart center. Bring yourself back up. Again, inhale up, salute the sun. Exhale, forward and down. Nice, slow, fluid movements. Again, inhaling up. Exhaling down. And then we'll bring ourselves up to standing to do a little bit of balance work. Again, use the chair as necessary for your prop. Again, if you don't feel like doing this today, just skip these movements. The toe raises come next. We just have the hands resting on the chair back if needed and rock back and forth on the feet. And then we can splay the feet out to the side a bit. And then we'll come back to center. And come back to standing. We'll do the crane posture again today. So we'll be on the right side of our chair. We're going to stand on the left foot. Left hand can rest on the chair back if you'd like. It's good to find a focal point on the floor. On that standing leg, try to really contract the muscles of the thighs. Wings can float out. And then we see if we can bring those toes up off the floor. This is the base for the posture. You can leave your toes on the floor if you choose. Otherwise, strong left leg, lifting up through the crown of the head. See if you can bring that right foot up off the floor. Sometimes the bird wants to fly. So if you fall out of a posture, just reestablish your base and bring that leg up again. Okay, very good. And then we'll go to the other side. We'll stand well grounded now on the right foot, taking the arms out, seeing if we can bring those left toes up off the floor. And we'll release. And then we'll go behind the chair. We'll do a modified downward facing dog. I'll turn to face the short side of the mat here so you can see the placement of the hands. Our shoulder width apart. I walk back until the arms are fully extended. Then I'm just going to bend at my hip crease and bring my head down between my elbows here. Again, we'll press out through the sit bones. And keep breathing. We'll come up slowly and walk in towards the chair. And then we'll move on to some other postures here. I think I'll move the chair all the way off. So today we're going to be doing the triangle postures. So we'll start with the base triangle. We don't have to have a really broad stance for this. The feet are parallel in this posture. It's just a nice lateral stretch again. So we're nicely grounded. We take those arms out. We're going to turn the left palm up. On an inhalation, sweep the left arm and hand overhead. Right arm and hand go down along the right side of the body. And then you can keep the gaze right out in front of you, or you can look up at that left palm. See if you can root down a little bit more with your left foot, the outside edge of it, and then reach up through those left fingertips. Again, the gaze can be in front of you or up. And then we'll winnow back, left palm down, right palm up. Inhale as you sweep that arm overhead. Left arm and hand now down alongside the body. and then windmill back. Now you can stay with the base triangle if you feel more comfortable with it. Otherwise, we'll go into the full triangle, Trikonasana. And again, you can have your chair right in front of you so you can hang on to the chair with one hand and do the movement in that stable position. We'll take a little bit broader stance here, but just make sure you feel comfortable and safe in your base. And then we float the arms into 5-point star up at shoulder height here. Your left foot will be your back foot as you begin. You're going to pivot on the left heel and bring those toes in just a little bit. Your right foot will turn away from the body completely, so pivot on that heel and the toes track away from the midline of the body. You're going to take your gaze out over your right fingertips. As you inhale, you reach forward, stretching the underside of that arm and the right side of the torso. And then you just tip towards that forward leg on your exhalation. The left arm goes overhead if you can. If you have problems with that shoulder, just keep the arm along the side of the body. And again, you don't have to reach your ankle or the foot. It's more important that you stay in one plane here. You don't come forward or lean back. And over time, we'd like to try and pretty much align the shoulders over each other. Again, a lateral stretch. Let's press up. Turn the feet parallel for a moment and just feel the effects of the posture on that side. Floating the arms out, we're in star again. Now the right foot is the back foot. You're going to turn that foot in slightly, and the left foot turns away completely. The gaze is out over the left fingertips now. On your inhalation, reach. On the exhalation, tip. Three-angle pose. Triangle between your legs, between your forward leg and that arm. And then if you drew an imaginary line from your upper hand to your hip, that's the third triangle here. And then let's windmill back up. Turn the feet parallel, and you can carefully step the feet together here. Let's take a sun breath. And then we'll do a forward triangle bend, and we'll use the chair as we're doing this. I call it forward triangle bend. It's also just called an angle side bend. But we're standing with the chair seat in front of us. I'll tuck my right toes under the chair. I'll step my left foot back, and the toes are just slightly out to the side, squaring myself forward. The hands can stay at the hips, or you can hold on to your forearms behind the body. And then just take a nice deep breath as you take your gaze upward, slight back bend, and then on the exhalation, come upright and bend towards that chair. Now your hands can be released to the chair seat, or you can bring the head all the way down to the chair seat. Stacking the head on your hands here, feeling a good stretch to the back of that forward leg. And then we'll carefully come out, hands go back to the chair seat, come up, step your feet together, and then come up slowly and do another sun breath. And then the other side, left toe slightly under the chair seat, right foot back, squared forward, hands at the hips or behind the back. Again, on the inhalation, a slight back bend. As you exhale, come forward and down. Again, hands can be released to the chair seat. You can stack forearms and come down a little bit more. And then take the hands back to the chair seat, press up, walk the feet together, bend the knees, come up slowly. So our final twist of the day, arms out, forearms stacked. On an inhalation, twist off to the right. On the exhalation, come back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back, one more time to the right. Coming back, and one more time to the left. Coming back. Push-pull and gathering stars from Tai Chi and Qigong. Hands back by the shoulders. Nourishing in-breath here. On the exhalation, press away. Palms towards you, draw in nourishment. Exhale to cleanse. On this last one, we'll push any excess energy downward towards the earth. We'll turn the palms forward. On an inhalation, gather stars, restorative energy from the moon and the stars, and bring that home to the core of the body. Again, inhaling up, exhaling down, and one more time. Beautiful. And then we'll return to the chair for the final relaxation. So I'd like you to just sit with a nice long spine, and then just try to totally release the physical body. Release the shoulders back and down, close the eyes, and take a few nice deep breaths here. Always remembering to honor yourself for your practice, for the work you've done to strengthen and to stretch the body, to stay flexible and well-balanced. So the eyes are softly closed. Again, just focus on some nice deep breathing. And today, as we're seated in Shavasana, I'd like to read a favorite poem of mine. I've read this many times before. I know many of you love it as well, and it's by Wendell Berry, called The Peace of Wild Things. I think it's especially appropriate for these times. The peace of wild things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water. And I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. And now we'll just sit in this very quiet, very peaceful place for a few minutes, breathing in and breathing out. And now we'll gently bring our awareness back to the room, to this place and time, this beautiful morning in July. And we can slowly open the eyes, but again, we'll keep the gaze soft. If you choose, you can bring the hands together at the heart center. If you choose, you can connect the thumbs with the heart center and bow the head. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. And then our soul-to-soul greeting and parting, Namaste. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. I hope you're all doing well. Stay safe, be well. and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.